Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading for you, tuning in to the day's energy, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, what's the overall energy of today's reading? Well, let's take that. Kind of flipped around, didn't pop out. What's hidden from the viewer? Thank you. Outcome and advice. Thank you. Interesting. All right. The overall energy of today's reading is the Eight of Wands. This to me, energetically, fast-moving energy, because all the arrows, all the wands, the sticks here, are pointed in the same direction. When you have all your energy focused in the same direction, then things go more smoothly, quickly. If your energy, if you're scattered, if you're like, well, I'm going to be over here, and then in the past, then your energy is not conducive to quick movement, forward movement, moving in a specific direction. Who's in this Eight of Wands energy? Seven of Pentacles. Oh, this is a rapid. This is a rapid acceleration on whatever this is that you've been focusing on. Look at this guy. He is just focused on his pentacles, on growing this tree, on abundance. Wherever your focus goes, that energy grows. So if you're focusing on something you do not prefer, but you're focused on it, then probably not a good idea. The same way if you're riding your bike down a trail and in the middle of the trail, all of a sudden there's a boulder in the middle of the trail. If you focus on that boulder, oh my gosh, the boulder, oh my gosh, I don't want to hit the boulder, I don't want to... Wherever your focus is, that's your chances are you're going to go right into, steer your bike right into what you're focusing on. And go over, spill. It isn't about not perceiving, head in the sand at all. It's about riding your bike. You see the boulder in the middle of the trail, and you're like, got it. There's a boulder in the middle of the trail. Now where do I turn my focus? Where do I look? Do I go left around it? Do I go right around it? Do I bunny hop over? So it's good information, blocks, difficulties. You need to clock them and be aware. You're not, there's no boulder, there's no trail, there's no bike, everything's fine. That's not what I'm talking about. It's about shifting how you perceive things and stop focusing on the pitfalls and the obstacles and focusing on what you do prefer to grow. Training your focus. Okay. Something's coming to light. What's coming to light here? Wow, 10 of Pentacles. So it looks like I'm talking to somebody who's been training their focus on their abundance, finances, building something in the 3D. This feels like a lot of focus. with the wands coming out, it doesn't feel like you're just focused on some job, some job, rise and grind type of energy. This feels like something you're passionate about, something that you're excited about, something that is you, very you. Feels like for some of you, you might be focusing your attention on this maybe for the rest of your life. Building, world building, building something, a legacy, something that you leave behind for others. Anything else that the viewer needs to know about this abundance coming in, the acceleration energy? First thing I'm hearing receive. Be in your feminine energy, receive. Even imagining like your buckets or big bushels to hold all the abundance coming in. Imagining, it feels like you've already been doing this, opening doors and windows and thanking abundance for coming in before it's here. Appreciating. It feels like I'm talking to somebody who's consciously manifesting this. Yeah. There's something about fortune after difficulty. What precipitated this, what came before this focus of yours, it looks like you had to get out of some type of toxic energy, codependency, dependency, trauma bonds, addiction, obsession. It feels like this was really difficult. This was not, this took a lot of being willing to feel really uncomfortable emotions, to process them. Feels like this toxic ending was dramatic, painful. It looks like you were, among many lessons you were learning in the past to get you to this point, there was something about discernment, an inner discernment. You needed to level up and see things and see people for who they really are, and not what you are told they are, and not what you hope they are. There's some painful ending around this toxic connection, but it feels like this painful ending was happening for you so you could have whatever this reading is about, this acceleration, this world building. Feels like you needed to level up and learn and figure out who can come with you. I don't think this person can come with you. I don't think you could achieve this and still be in a toxic connection. Feels like there were at least one person, maybe several people that have been removed from your vicinity, and you got back out there. It feels like you've been following your excitement, having a whole different life after whatever this toxic ending. All right. Let's look at what's hidden. We've got the Chariot. Boy, bust a move. Now that song's... You got it. You want it. Sorry, that song's going through my head now. Something yellow comes up in that song too. Boy, I'm really showing my age with that, huh? Bust move. Okay, it does feel like you're taking the reins. You're taking control. This is masculine energy. This is outward, making moves, moving on. You've moved on from this past connection. made moves. This feels very conscious. Conscious manifesting, going after what you desire. There's something about what you've learned in your life up to this point, and it's informed you of who you prefer to be and what you prefer to create in your world. And so it looks like you got busy right away focusing on what you want to create, making moves. Boy, something's a lot closer than you think. It looks like as you take action, you're not just sitting around and these energies are happening to you. I'm describing someone very active in creating something. You're not sitting at home hoping that this tarot reading magically changes something. This is someone actively out there in the 3D, following your highest desires, figuring things out, and building something, building abundance, security, stability, a legacy. And it's like the universe, as you make moves in this universe, the universe is meeting you, is happy to meet you. Co-create, it feels like you're co-creating with the universe. It's something very you. Boy, Queen of Pentacles. Again, that focus. You have the resources you need. You've cut out people who can't join you on this journey, who can't perceive you, can't be a part of this. It looks especially like you've cut out people who feel entitled to your labor, your energy, your efforts, what's yours. I feel it's like whoever I'm talking to, you might have been raised with some programming to be supportive, to be toxically supportive, like not to care about yourself, but to center others and focus on others, to be a support character. And it looks like you've ended that cycle and you've stepped into main character energy. Anything else in what's hidden? Anything about this King of Swords energy and what's hidden? This is more about, it's been a challenge to release these burdens, to release programs of how you were raised to support others, to not go after what you desire, to not center what your wants and needs are. But it feels like it's been challenging, and a challenge that you've overcome or are still overcoming. Letting go of the past. It feels like the more you process the past, the more you decide who you want to be. Become the version of yourself you've always wanted to be, and stop becoming the version of yourself that everyone wants you to be. Everyone who benefits by your enabling, by your overgiving, by your woundedness. All right, in the outcome and advice, we've got the Magician reverse and Temperance. Let's start with Temperance. It was just what I was just mentioning, this alchemizing past wounds, being willing to feel the wounds without the story, without the blame. They did this to me. When you are talking about a story, a past wound, and how someone hurt you, then it's not helpful to, when it first happens, it's important to analyze it, to be able to speak that story. But if it's years ago and you're still telling that same story and the story hasn't changed any, it's still, that wound is still in that same spot of this person hurt me this way, then it's an unprocessed wound. That story of that person did this hurt to me is not processed, hasn't been felt in a way that is helpful. So when you let go of the story and you sit with, how did that make me feel? So bring up, when a story comes up in your mind from the past, a past hurt, stop telling it the same way you do. It feels like you might just go into like I need to tell the whole story. How can I just sit with, where does it hurt in my body? Where is that story residing in my body? Where am I holding on to it? How can I feel the pain, the hurt, the disconnect? How can I feel all that? How can I sit with the discomfort of it? How can I kind of sit, move? A lot of times these emotions that have been with us our whole lives, movement is helpful. Kind of move it, give it an expression. Let it communicate, not blame, but own. If you can own your emotions, they are mine. An event happened that created wounding. I'm not responsible that happened, but I am responsible for healing from that woundedness. So when you can sit with and feel, allow yourself to feel the discomfort, the pain, the tension, the heat, the coldness, the numbness, whatever you're feeling, give it a name, get curious and sit with it. Then you allow yourself to actually feel that unprocessed emotion. When you can sit through and allow yourself to feel those old emotions, then you finally get the wisdom that's hidden behind those unprocessed emotions. The wisdom that says, this is not love. This is not care. This person is someone not to trust. And so instead of blaming, you start making different choices. You feel empowered by the experiences you've gone through and not victimized. You understand that there are lessons and that you are not what you want, but you are your beliefs. And so you can change your beliefs. You can start changing the choices that you make and show yourself. Feels like whoever I've been talking about, that a lot of you have gone through what I've just, or something similar to what I've just explained. And there are some of you that this path is open for you. There's just a need to process some of those emotions, to be willing to feel uncomfortable and to let go of whatever story you have, so you can change your story, so you can make different choices, so you can be a different version of yourself. Alchemize. It takes patience. It's kind of like recycling energy. Recycling that unprocessed energy, learning from it, making different choices. The Magician reversed feels like this feels like sabotage, maybe self-sabotage. Feels like I'm talking to somebody who has experienced a lot of this Magician reverse, someone who has enjoyed sabotaging your experience, someone who felt very insecure about their creative abilities, and so they don't create, they sabotage and bully someone so they can put a Band-Aid on their powerlessness. Boy, that Temperance coming out again. Yeah, it's taken a long time. It feels like this is a core wound. Someone having power over you, over your narrative. Feels like you've been showing yourself how to take your power back. Wow, Magician reverse, Temperance, clarified by Magician reverse and Temperance. I love those double cards. I love those synchronicities. This feels like Spirit saying, I meant what I said. It's taken you a long time. There might be two specific people who have really wanted to control you, control your life, have control over you. This is the toxic energy that you've had to cut out. For some of you, it's that old story that kind of kept you in this sabotage energy. Yeah, now, oh, I love it. 5 of Wands reverse, 5 of Swords reverse. There's no more bullying. You're no longer the scapegoat. It looks like you've healed from that scapegoat energy. You're no longer a cooperative component to your own bullying. You've matured emotionally. You've figured out how to process your emotions, how to sit with really uncomfortable emotions. Feels like you've met yourself in a really deep and profound way, and you understand your emotions. And it looks like you understand, because you've met yourself and understand your emotions now, you understand others in a more profound way as well. This reading feels like you're just a very different person, period. And you've been in lesson, and there was some painful ending that was happening for you to get this sabotage energy out of your space. You needed to see this and empower yourself to make the changes so you can have what's coming towards you now. Wow. All right, that's your reading. I hope that's helpful. Have a great day. Bye.